Hi, everyone. It's Henry DeVries from Agency Rainmaker TV, the show where we help agency owners make it rain. And that means bring in more revenue. We also are concerned about your admin and how smoothly your shop is running. So honored to have a guest with us today, Dr. John O'Brien. Uh, Dr. O'Brien is writing a book called Rudeness Rehab that'll be published soon. And John, what do you have to share with us today?
Well, I'm going to tell a little bit about my business, Activate Success, and also talk a little bit about my book entitled Rudeness Rehab: Reclaiming Civility in the Workplace and Your Home Space.
That's great. Let's start with who you serve. What type of businesses do you serve?
So I work with small and medium-sized companies, mostly with managers and higher level corporate executives who want to create lower stress work environments for their employees. Because, as research shows and as leaders understand, lower stress work environments create happier employees, and happier employees are more productive, and more productive employees are better for business and profitability. So I work with people at the leadership level to help them craft more effective strategies for managing employees.
Well, you're in the right place. Having been a leader for years, for decades, actually, at agencies,
Mhm.
advertising and PR and marketing agencies, I can tell you they're very stressful environments. And there's a lot of pressure and deadlines, and people can get short with each other. And that stress and also that friction uh, hurts productivity and hurts the bottom line. And also, it's just not as fun to work there. So, really happy to have you on. Well, what do you do for these companies to lower the stress and increase the productivity?
Well, I often start with working with leaders because we won't get into a debate over the validity of trickle-down economics, but I am a big believer in the power of trickle-down dynamics. I think leaders sometimes fail to recognize the impact they have on the dynamics, not just with their direct reports, but how that then translates into down the chain in the organization. So I think I try to get leaders to recognize the impact of their behavior on the type of environment they create, the expectations there are, and how supported employees feel. So that's kind of number one. Sometimes I will also do trainings with managers or even larger trainings with employees around things like stress management, balanced living. And my new favorite, and which the book is really about, is the power of civility in a way to combat the negative impact that incivility can have in the workplace.
And things certainly have been tense in the last 5 years, that's for sure.
Yes.
Um, John, I helped an author write a book. It's soon to be published, and it's about you made a choice to be a leader. As the author said, you chose to be a big shot. And you have to know that every move you make is analyzed. Um,
Yes.
the when you walk in the morning, people contact each other about what kind of mood you're in as the leader, and also how you're dressed, and what looks on your face, and these things, because everybody's trying to get clues. There's a famous story about Walt Disney when Walt Disney ran his movie studio, and they were famous for producing such classics as Bambi. um, when he walked in the morning, the receptionist would call back to the animators and say the code word, "man is in the forest." That meant Walt's here and he's not in a good mood. Look
Right.
busy, duck. Uh, Somebody in business once told me when somebody says heads up, that really means head down. Get down at
Right.
the line of fire. So,
Yes.
well, tell us how you make it rain to do these workshops and these trainings and consulting that you do.
Well, I am a big believer in trying to provide value to the clients I work with. So through the years, I've done teaching and training, consultation, provided coaching to people to help them kind of improve their lives and increase their stress tolerance. But part of my reason for publishing this book with Indie Books is that I wanted to take my recommendations beyond the more local level and hopefully take it to a larger audience that people can read this book and try to get some ideas about the power that civility can have in terms of, as we talked about, creating a different environment, different working relationship, and giving people practical skills and kind of actionable strategies that they can use to be able to manage their work environment differently. So my hope is that this book will be the first of perhaps at least two or a series on different types of things that people can do to manage incivility, both internally and interpersonally.
Well, John, we have a saying that you can't spell authority without the word author, and that an authority is not one and done with a book. They didn't get to say everything they had to say with one book. And you don't want to do that. You don't want a book so thick that nobody reads it. So I like your idea of a trilogy or more, where you're sharing these truths, you're sharing this information that makes it better. I really look forward to having you on some of our stages that we do, and have you share this message with others. I think it's really important work, and we're proud that you're part of the Indie Books family. Well, John, is there anything else you want to add before we conclude?
Well, two things. First of all, Henry, I do want to thank you for having me on here. It's been nice to be a guest. I guess I would also just share with your listeners the idea that don't underestimate the power of civility in terms of creating a better dynamic, both in your work environment and in your home life. It doesn't take necessarily a lot of effort, but it does take effort, and the effort begins with you.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and ideas today. That's all the time we have. So, to all the viewers out there, until next time, make it rain.